first half mile there in terms of who was on the lead and right off it. Definitely thought Big Dreamer in my sixth sense would be more prominent, but it worked out well for Empty Tomb, who had just had the Phil Sims runner, the name escapes me, stalking just up Royal Mesa stalking. So good effort from the winner, good effort from a couple other runners in there, but a little bit surprising in terms of race shape.
If you're live in the Derby City 6, we are down to 2,765 live tickets. That was a big hit there if you had Empty Tomb. 3 legs to go. Best of luck the rest of the way, including the second stake race on the card. This is the $110,000 Keertana, named for the millionaire 4-time winner at Churchill Downs. 1.5 miles the distance over the firm going. We are in leg 2, in lane 2. And James, there are some horses that are proven going 1.5 miles on the turf. And then there's some that need to prove themselves over the marathon distance, including your top pick, Temple City Terror.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. Temple City Terror is making her first start at the 1.5 mile distance today, but I do think that she's going to handle the added ground being by Temple City. He's got the pedigree for longer distances. And let's take a look at today's field. We do have one scratch. That leaves us with 9 runners. Obviously, the morning line favorite, Delta's Kingdom, is getting bet down. Really 4 horses, though, with Temple City Terror, Pass the Plate, and Delika, and Delta's Kingdom. Really makes for a really good betting race. This is going to be a race that might separate some of those Derby City 6 tickets, and let's talk about the field, Joe.
All right, James. There's 4 horses that are going to take the vast majority of the action, including Delta's Kingdom, the favorite. We'll talk about in a moment. But first, let's talk about your top pick, James. And to me, she's kind of a turn-of-foot, mile and a 16 type horse. When you go 1.5 miles, you're going to have to grind it out. Temple City, but more than ready on the bottom. What leads you to believe that this one's going to get the 1.5 miles successfully against this field?
Well, I'll just say more than ready when combined with a stamina presence on the other side of the bloodlines is a good long, has thrown a lot of long distance turf runners, and Temple City really provides that stamina boost that Temple City Terror is going to need to get the added ground. I just don't know that this filly loves Churchill Downs. She's got 2 wins and a second for 3 starts. And one thing about this race, I'm expecting a very slow pace. Temple City Terror looks like a late runner, but she has been able to stay a little closer when it's been a glacial pace up front. And I'm hoping that she could sit in mid-pack and get first run on the closers. I think she'll handle the added ground, and the price is right at 9-2, Joe.
It's a good point you make, James. I'm definitely concerned about the distance, but her best races have come actually with slower paces, unlike most closers who need that hot pace to run at.
And, James, you're right. She's run some of her absolute best races here at Churchill Downs, including that May 17th win here in the A Other Than, which was visually impressive. She was under wraps late when she won that particular day. Scott, talking about the lack of early speed in this race, could benefit a horse like the German mare Delika, earner of $400,000 in her career and a 2-time stakes winner already this year.
Yeah, Delika's not a horse that I've been overly successful with, admittedly. Gotten her wrong quite a bit at fairgrounds, but she just looks like she should be walking on the lead. There's a couple of horses that maybe with aggressive rides can press her, but there's really not any other horse that likes to be loose or lonely on the lead. And Delika can rate just off the pace, but can go to the lead when need be, like she did in the Blushing KD at fairgrounds in last December. I think Miguel Mena, with a good break, should be walking on the lead early, and hopefully we'll have enough late.
And I need to correct myself. 2-time stakes winner in the last year. The first of those stakes came on December the 19th at Fairgrounds, so not quite 2021. And she had a mixed bag at Fairgrounds, and I followed her career every step of the way. And she's a little tough to trust. She likes a little bit of giving the ground. She can win on the lead, but she doesn't mind having a target either. She's currently up there at odds of 4-1. One of 4 horses, I think, that are legitimate contenders in this particular race. Let's take a look next at the 5. This is my top pick, guys. Talking about Pass the Plate, who had a good 3-year-old campaign. She, I think, still has some upside. She rallied from far off the pace in the Bewitched to be third behind the very talented winner, Warlike Goddess. She had a little bit of a claustrophobic trip, was wide, did finish with energy that day. And I really like, Scott, that at least she proved herself over the 1.5 mile distance last time out against what I think was a pretty comparable field.
Yeah, I would have had the same concerns going into the Bewitched as I would with Temple City Terror going into this race. A late running horse that has to stretch out and show that same turn of foot at a mile and a half. She proved that she could get the mile and a half, in my opinion, in the Bewitched. I know you're very bullish on her today. The lone concern is the lack of pace, but past the plate, a fair price at 4-1.
James, your top pick by Temple City, as is mine. I like the fact that she did run well over the distance last time, and like I said, I think past the plate still has a little bit of upside.
I do, yeah, I agree with you, Joe. And last time she didn't really have much chance against Warlike Goddess. Real beast, like you said, but really finished with good energy. Look forward to her to continue to improve upon that effort for Paul McGee.
Delta's Kingdom is your 3-2 favorite. Your Twin Spires Market Mover favored in all the pools, Scott, but she hasn't won since 2019. She is proven over distance. She did finish just in front of past the plate last time, narrowly though. I mean, when this horse is the favorite in the race, like I said, I think 3 others can win it, but there are some other price shots as well. Man, I just can't see betting on her and having her pay $5.
Too short of a price. She should get a great trip. The last 2 times Florent Giroux was on her, if you look to the back end of her 2020 campaign, she was more prominently placed than any of other races. I would expect her to be sitting second or third, but that lack of will to win makes her impossible for me to endorse at 3-2.
All right. Do you agree the winner is going to come from one of the 4 horses we talked about?
I would think so. I think First Course has an outside chance. She showed the ability to get the mile and a half against Lesser last time. That was an impressive run, running down a lone speed horse. Maybe she can move forward up in the class height.
All right, going to need to run faster. Delta's Kingdom is the favorite. James going to go to Temple City Terror. Scott likes Delika likely on the lead, and I'm going to go to pass the plate, and I'll take another serving at current odds of 7-2. Best of luck in the second stakes of the evening, everybody.
On the track for race number 9, scratch number 3, Ya Beauty, double exacta trifecta, superfecta, pick 3 wagering, 9 minutes to boast. Waiting for Delta's Kingdom, Cambaliza, and Dalika. They're in the gate. And they're off. And Dalika, off that outside post, steps on it right off the mark. From the outside post to the lead, to the rail, Dalika clear by 2.5. Delta's Kingdom comes on to grab second from Temple City Terror, who's back into third. Sursum Corda is fourth. Naomi Broadway is fifth. Dalika builds a 6-length lead for the run of the far turn. Now it's 7, now it's 8. Dalika is running off early on here. It's a massive margin round the far turn. Delta's Kingdom is way back in second. Sursum Corda is third. Temple City Terror is racing fourth. Naomi Broadway down inside fifth. Tweety Show sixth by 5. Then it's First Course racing in seventh. Campbell-Liza is eighth. Past the Plate is ninth and is at least 25 lengths off the lead. By the Twin Spires for the first time, or at least one of them, it's Dalika, completely isolated up top. Fractions, 24 and 1, 48 seconds flat. A brutal pace so far. 1 lap to go. Dalika, the lead is still at least 20 lengths. Delta's Kingdom in a race by herself back in second. A margin of 2 from there to Temple City Terror in third. Sursum Corda fourth to that one's outside. Naomi Broadway has settled well toward the rail. Still fifth and still maybe 20 lengths off the lead now. Tweety Show follows that one, followed by First Course at the back. Campbell-Liza and Past the Plate. Dalika's lead is still about 15 lengths, but it's slowly but surely dwindling down the backstretch run. 3/4 in 13 and 1, but Dalika still isolated up top. Delta's Kingdom still a distant second at this point. Sursum Corda is third. There's a half mile to go. Temple City Terror's in fourth. Naomi Broadway's racing in fifth while wide. Tweety Show over to the inside sixth. First Course Past the Plate. Nothing from Campbell-Liza. Everything from Dalika so far. The lead is still about 12 lengths with a quarter mile to go. Can she do it? Dalika at the quarter pole in control still. Delta's Kingdom second and has to go now. Temple City Terror switches outside. Then it's Sursum Corda and Tweety Show. There's 1 furlong to go for Dalika. The lead's down to 8. Now it's 7. Now it's 6. Temple City Terror takes off after Dalika. Dalika's still there. 16th to go. Temple City Terror coming with a flying finish after Dalika. And she gets there. Temple City Terror runs down a tough luck Dalika, who ran a massive race, finishing second. Tweety Show and Past the Plate. Number 4, Temple City Terror first, 10 Dalika second, 6 Tweety Show third, 5 Past the Plate fourth. Not official. Temple City Terror is a 5-year-old daughter of Temple City from It Takes Two by More Than Ready. Owned by Pocket Aces Racing, trained by Brendan Walsh with Adam Biskitza. The winner was bred in Kentucky by Ups and Downs Farm. The time was 2:29.57, not yet official on race 9. 2 races to go tonight. Race 10 is up next. No scratches or changes in the 10th. Race 10 and 23, 9th race official.
Well, that was an exciting race. Dalika building about a 15-length lead. Temple City Terror sitting in the next flight. Gets the job done with an exciting stretch kick there. The Keertana goes to Temple City Terror, Adam Biskitza, and trainer Brendan Walsh. And Adam, we'll start with you. Adam won this race, incidentally, in 2018 with creative thinking. And you see a horse get that far in front of you, and you're in the chasing queue. You're in a good spot. How do you know when to go after her?
I think the fractions were pretty sensible, but I think me and Florent, who was on the favourite, obviously were quite aware that going by the half a mile, he was still 16th ahead of us. But in all credit to the second place horse, she actually ran well. But this filly, Brendan's done a fantastic job with her, and you know, him stepping her up to 1.5 miles seems to be, you know, looking bright now. You know. On the past performances at Fairground, she seemed to saddle like she would get the distance, and you know, I'm glad he you know, put her forward to the test, and she has a great turn of foot when you let her loose, and you know, she got the job done today.
Congratulations, Adam.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks.
Brendan, opens up some new doors for you here now. She's been a run kind of horse, going a mile and a 16th. You got her over distance today. She was able to sit a little bit closer, and I think that made the difference because she showed the same kind of turn of foot she's showing in the shorter distances.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Joe, I thought she had one short run, maybe. That's the way she was showing it in her shorter races, but she was able to sustain it today, and like you say, it's a nice window to open up with her, so it was good to see her see out the trip, so, you know, we move forward from here.
How exciting was that for you to watch?
That was fantastic. It worked out great. But, you know, this filly, she's been just rock solid since day one. You know, it took her a while to break her maiden, but, you know, she shows up every time, and all credit to her.
Congratulations, Brendan.
Thanks, Joe.
The Keertana Stakes, 1.5 miles. It was an exciting race, but in the end, she mowed the lawn and mowed him down in the stretch. Temple City Terror and the Keertana here at Churchill Downs. Still a couple of more races to go.
They're in the gate. And they're off. And Dolokhov, that outside post, steps on it right off the mark. From the outside post to the lead, to the rail, Dolokhov clear by 2.5. Delta's Kingdom comes on to grab second from Temple City Terror, who's back into third. Sursum Corda is fourth. Naomi Broadway is fifth. Dolokhov builds a 6-length lead for the run of the far turn. Now it's 7, now it's 8. Dolokhov running off early on here. It's a massive margin round the far turn. Delta's Kingdom is way back in second. Sursum Corda's third. Temple City Terror is racing fourth. Naomi Broadway down inside fifth. Tweety Show sixth by 5. Then it's First Course racing in seventh. Campbell-Liza is eighth. Past the Plate is ninth and is at least 25 lengths off the lead. By the Twin Spires for the first time, or at least one of them, it's Dolokhov, completely isolated up top. Fractions, 24-1, 48 seconds flat. A brutal pace so far. 1 lap to go. Dolokhov, the lead is still at least 20 lengths. Delta's Kingdom in a race by herself back in second. A margin of 2 from there to Temple City Terror in third. Sursum Corda fourth to that one's outside. Naomi Broadway has settled well toward the rail. Still fifth and still maybe 20 lengths off the lead now. Tweety Show follows that one, followed by First Course at the back. Campbell-Liza and Past the Plate. Dolokhov's lead is still about 15 lengths, but it's slowly but surely dwindling down the backstretch run. 3/4 and 13-1, but Dolokhov still isolated up top. Delta's Kingdom still a distant second at this point. Sursum Corda is third. There's a half mile to go. Temple City Terror's in fourth. Naomi Broadway's racing in fifth while wide. Tweety Show over to the inside sixth. First Course past the plate. Nothing from Campbell-Liza. Everything from Dolokhov so far. The lead is still about 12 lengths with a 1/4 mile to go. Can she do it? Dolokhov at the quarter pole in control still. Delta's Kingdom second and has to go now. Temple City Terror switches outside. Then it's Sursum Corda and Tweety Show. There's 1 furlong to go for Dolokhov. The lead's down to 8. Now it's 7. Now it's 6. Temple City Terror takes off after Dolokhov. Dolokhov's still there. 16th to go. Temple City Terror coming with a flying finish after Dolokhov, and she gets there. Temple City Terror runs down a tough luck Dolokhov, who ran a massive race, finishing second. Tweety Show and Past the Plate.